Hey, sorry my video got cut off, but like I was saying, the climax is the most exciting part of the story. It's that OMG moment when you have reached the part of the story where the characters have finally figured out how to solve their problem. A lot of times, if you think of movies like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars or things like that, it is that like epic battle scene right towards the end where everything is coming to a head and things can turn. Now, the problem has been building, building, building. Now, something has happened that can make that problem be solved so there can be an end to that story. That is the climax, that peak in the story where things start to change, where they shift. And as we continue our story and continue our hike down the mountain, things are going to fall into place. We start getting some answers to where we can have a resolution to all those problems. Conflicts are starting to become resolved. Just like in our hike, we're starting that downward hike down the mountain where we're getting closer and closer to the end of our hike. So the action is falling. That's why it's called the falling action, because the action is kind of petering off. And then we are finishing our story. We're coming to the end, the conclusion. All the loose ends are tied up. We should know the answers to our questions and to those problems, and the conflicts are resolved. Now, that is kind of the formula for a fictional story. You have the exposition with the inciting incident right after. The story builds with the rising action, it peaks at the climax, it's the turning point, things can start to change now. Then we have the falling action and the resolution. Now, on your own, you can watch this video of a classic fictional story, Little Red Riding Hood, and see if you can find and recognize the series of events and what is the exposition? What is the inciting incident? What are the events in the rising action? What do you think is the climax? When do things start to change and to turn? What do you think are the events in the falling action? And then how are those conflicts that we're building in the rising action solved? And you can see in that word resolution, it has the word solution in it because the solution to the problem should be found there at the end of the story. So if you go back into your notebook, I'm going to want you to go to this plot diagram sort. That's going to take you to this Google drawing of a plot diagram or a plot mountain. And I want you to move these places where they go onto the plot mountain, just like the exposition goes at the beginning of the story, just to make sure that you have an idea of where these series of events happen in a fictional story. You can also access this Quizlet to help you review those terms. Now, all the terms that we discussed are right here in this chart, as well as a plot diagram that goes over, again, what you're going to find in each section of the story, because the plot is really just a series of events in the story that take place in a specific order, and it's our job as readers to understand what order they go in and what defines each of these points, these events in a story. Thank you for watching all the way through. I know this was a more of a lengthy video, but if you do have any questions, please let me, Miss Ellis, or Miss Hackworth know. Thanks.